Welcome back to Call Me By Your Game, the podcast where I, your host, Connor McCabe, normally bring on a guest to hear from them about a meaningful or memorable video game from a particular moment in their life. What you're listening to today is the Nintendo 64 Diaries Episode 2, where I've got a guest coming on to discuss what the N64 means to him. Throughout the year, just about once a month, I'm going to be having people come back to discuss this console, which is now 30 years old, or will be as of June and August. But for a lot of people of my generation, this console is significant for one reason or another. I did my whole interview with myself on episode 1, so if you want to go back in this feed and hear that, it's about, I think, 3 or 4 episodes in the past at this point. But that'll give you a pretty good idea of what you're about to hear today. Little bit of housekeeping up top is that anything that my guest or I plug on the podcast today, you can find in a link in the show notes. So whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts, scroll down, look at the episode notes, and you'll find a link to different things like social media accounts or even our Patreon, which we have over at patreon.com/supernpcradio, where, you know, depending on whatever tier you support us at, you get bonuses for your support, including our Games Club series, which currently what we're covering in our book club style format with a new episode every single Friday is the Nintendo 3DS classic game Fire Emblem Awakening. So if you like that game, or you want to check out what our past Games Club series are like, there's also a free feed for that. So check out the Super NPC Games Club wherever you get your podcast. You don't have to subscribe to the Patreon to hear that. And what's airing there currently is our series on Death Stranding, which was over a year ago at this point. So plenty of fun bonus stuff for you to find there if you want more ways to support the show. That'll do it for the housekeeping. Let's introduce our guest for today's episode, who is this plugging in a controller to the Player 2 port. That's right, because I'm Player 1 today. It is none other than teacher, coach, and StarFox 64 expert, Eddie Martin. Eddie, welcome back to the podcast.
Can I please get the green controller? Because the green one's my best one.
You can use the jungle green one, like the sort of transparent one that I had.
That one was cool. That one was cool.
Or you like a solid green? We
had the solid green one.
Okay.
And we had a solid blue one. And then if you look at my controllers I have accumulated over the years, we have a few that the joystick just barely works.
Yes.
Because they would get all janky.
Which is unfortunately something that happened to a lot of Nintendo 64 controllers for many reasons. Probably the biggest one being any game that made you twist that thing around too much, like a Mario Party.
Oh yeah.
You know, I had at this point have forgotten. You'd think I would remember the colors of every controller you ever had.
Right.
You know, being best friends growing up, which we'll introduce you a little more in a second. But I'm fascinated to hear that, like, your favorite controller was a solid green and mine was the transparent green. It's just another way that we're just two sides of the same coin.
Oh, absolutely. Just destined.
Dude, may you and I never stop figuring out things that we have in common or that tie us together.
It's quite serendipitous, if I do say so myself.
It really is. It's so great to have you back on the show today. I kind of gave us a little tease. You've been on the podcast a lot for both a regular episode of the show. You've been on the top 10 favorite games format as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where you listed your top 10 favorite games with our buddies, Adrian and Garrett from the retired Super Gamer Boys.
Yes. Shout out to those boys.
Love those guys. You also have been on a number of co-op episodes. Most recently, you and I and a few friends discussed Sea of Stars last, I think it was June when I released that episode, June or July.
Sounds about right.
But I'm looking back here, and your first episode, okay, I thought I had this right. You were originally on episode 6.
Yep.
Where you came on to discuss StarFox 64. We've talked about this before, but that was obviously the very early days of the show where we recorded that in my childhood bedroom around, like, I think all of my stuffed animals that I had as a kid.
Yeah, you really set the scene. It was great. Every single stuffed animal. The only thing you didn't bust out was the bag of Pokemon toys you had. And
I really should have. Those, at this point, those are down here with me in Los Angeles in like a bin. I still have, actually I'm realizing, I had a couple duplicates There's like a fat Pikachu and a little Charmander, and those are on a little shelf I have here that next time you visit, I'll have to show you because it wasn't here the last time. But
heck yeah.
You and I have a very deep, long history with each other. We were the best of friends growing up. I talked about you on the first episode not because you introduced me to the N64, but there were a few very important and very important and pivotal titles that you did introduce me to, whether we're talking The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time or Super Smash Brothers, you name it. So, I wanted to have you on because I knew you liked the console, but you were so pivotal in my experience with my favorite console. So, we've had you on a bunch of podcasts, but for this series in particular, I had to have you back.
Happy to be back. This will be fun.
I would, first of all, as we get into it, I'm gonna before we really dive into just the free flowing discussion, I introduced you already. Is there anything you feel like plugging or even just sharing about yourself today while you're on the podcast?
Oh man, well, I was born here in Modesto. It was a beautiful day. No,
hot August morning.
Yeah, 2:10 a.m. No, honestly, no, not too much. Just still. Last time you talked to me, I mentioned I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3.
That's right.
I'm still playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. My partner, she's really into D&D, but she's not big. She did not grow up with video games, so experiencing Baldur's Gate 3 through her eyes has been super fun. So I'm just having the time of my life, like with the choices she's making, because I know like the game so well.
Yes.
And it's fun to play together because we strategize. We're like, maybe we should send our rogue over here and sneak attack, or maybe we should fire off an Eldritch Blast and blast this guy back. So it's really fun, like putting our brains together. And I'm doing my best not to backseat. I'm just kind of letting her do what she wants. But that's been really fun.
That rocks. I'm trying to think, and I think the answer is no, but when you were on for the top 10 favorite games of all time episode, I don't think had you played Baldur's Gate 3 yet?
When did we record that?
I can look this up right now on YouTube.
Because it was a while ago.
Yes, it was, I want to say almost maybe around 2 years ago that I had you guys on. And I'll do some, this is great for podcasting. I'll do some YouTube searching right now.
Sure.
As we talk. But either way, let's say if that game was not on your top 10 favorite games of all time list, I'd venture to guess that it would probably be on there at this point.
Absolutely. It's definitely top 3, if not top 2.
It's fun when things like, wow, that's so crazy. Your episode popped up. This was first when I did my search. Episode 207, originally released. It says 1 year ago, but that's not accurate. It's probably closer to 2. And let me scroll to the end of the episode and see if we can see your list here. I'm going to go full screen really quick so I can't see you. Eddie, no Baldur's Gate 3, so your list, something's getting kicked off that list, and I don't even want to guess what it would be because there's so many great ones on that. Do you want to actually, can I read this off for you really quick?
I do, because I'm curious what I even put. I don't even remember.
So I'll go 10 to 1. Number 10, you had Mega Man X. Number 9, TMNT, Turtles in Time. Both games you introduced me to. And I think you kind of get credit for the next one, MVP Baseball 2005, because you and your brothers introduced me to 2003. Therefore, 2005. Final Fantasy IV, Super Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Mass Effect 1, Hollow Knight, and Star Fox 64. What a list.
So many Super Nintendo games on that list.
Yes. Would you say, I know we're getting into our discussion a little bit, but would you say that the Super Nintendo is your favorite console? Can you even make that determination?
Super Nintendo's my favorite, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I love the 64 though. That's why I'm on this pod.
Yes, yeah. I wish I could host like an authentic. If I were hosting a Super Nintendo podcast, it would be way more through the lens of this is something that I never had for the longest time and then fell in love with later in life, even though I was basically introduced to it at your house growing up. Phenomenal console. I think I've got at least 2 Super Nintendo games on my top 20 list.
Sure.
I could talk about it forever. Let's start with the early days for you and the Nintendo 64. I want to say, from what I remember, this is something that you received. I've got two guesses.
Yeah,
because I kind of remember the story. This was either something that you and Alex got between your birthdays one summer, or it was a Christmas gift. And based on the head shake, I want to guess it was that between the birthdays, because you and your brother have birthdays about a month apart.
Yes. Yeah, it was the former, not the latter. But yeah, so you're right.
What do you remember about that time or leading up? Were you excited about the console?
Oh, yeah, dude. So the era of the 64, I remember it pretty vividly when it was coming out, because it was a big deal. New Nintendo console. They got 3D Mario. I remember specifically the Taco Bell was doing a big like promotion, and you could get these little like with every meal, I think they gave you a little like token, and it had a different Nintendo 64 character on it, and that represented the amount of points you can get, and if you had 64 points, you could redeem it for like a chance to win the console or something. I vaguely remember this.
Eat your weight in Taco Bell every week, you can have a chance to win the console.
It was something crazy like that. So I remember kids at school talking about it. Like, that's how big it was.
Wow.
And I remember the commercials and everything. But we had the Super Nintendo. We weren't getting a new console anytime soon. The first time I played it was at a neighbor's house. They had got it just right when it first came out.
Wow.
And I remember just being mind blown, because he had Mario 64 and he was showing me it. And he's like jumping around doing whatever. And I specifically remember he jumped up and like hit a block like in the castle, and he said, "I just beat the game. Like, I already beat the game," or whatever. And I was just that sticks in my brain. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then the other time, and I actually shared this on the StarFox show. We were at a neighborhood party, someone's house. They had it hooked up on their family TV, so they had StarFox 64 hooked up. And I knew StarFox from the Super Nintendo because we rented that game a few times.
Okay,
and
yeah.
My brother Alex would always be like, "That one's too hard. Don't rent it."
That's right.
He was right, but I remember watching it on the TV, like someone was playing, and then they let me play it. And I remember being bummed at first because I couldn't go backwards. Like, I was playing the Corneria level and I couldn't fly my ship backwards. I was like, that's weird. You can't fly backwards. But I thought it was cool when like Slippy would pop up and talk and Falco would talk.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. So we'd actually like play 64 at school, even though I didn't have one. Like, I'm Fox, you're Falco, and like we'd run around and all that.
Dude, so something that was prevalent in our friendship early on, especially, was like just role playing as Nintendo characters or Pokemon, especially. I mean, famously, the story that we always like to tell about role playing as Pokemon and me being your Pidgeotto. But so I can totally relate to like being so excited about something, especially as a kid, and being like, okay, what's the closest I can get to experiencing it? Pretending to be the characters.
Yeah, and being creative and having fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when we were getting our system finally, my parents said, "Okay, this will be a gift for you and Alex for your birthdays," like you said, in the middle of summer. Alex happened to be, I think he was with a friend. Like, he traveled somewhere with a buddy, so he was like on like a trip with their family.
Okay.
So my parents let me pick it out. So we would go to Best Buy, and
dude, did you remember feeling any sort of way about that? Like, I'm getting away with something?
Yes. I had all the power. Being the youngest brother, I got spoiled. So I go there and we get the bundle, the 64 bundle with Star Wars Pod Racer.
Ooh.
So we got the black box, like the Pod Racer bundle. So it came with Pod Racer, and my parents said you could pick out one other game. So I'm looking, like scanning all the games, looking at all the boxes, and I picked Mario Party, because Mario's on the cover with the dice, and the cover looked cool.
Yeah.
So I picked Mario Party. So those are the first few games we had, was Pod Racer and Mario Party.
Wow. Both of which I have very rich memories of.
Oh yeah.
Of play with, and I guess in one sense are great because you've got two multiplayer games, so you can also games you can also just play single player. But the first Mario Party 2 I remember, and I've revisited it since, is personally I think a far cry from the second one.
Yes.
And I've not really played much with the third, but you had those, and I mean, Pod Racer or Episode 1 Racer, what a game.
That game was great. It was fun. I remember like my dad and I that night were racing each other, and like it was fun. It was fun doing 2-player. And
I'm sure I've heard this story. I'm sure I've heard the story before because I recalled at least the beginning of it. But I'm surprised to hear a little bit that you got the console when you did, because that must have been 1999, because that's when Star Wars Episode 1 would have been out. I would have guessed you would have had it earlier than that, if I had to say.
Yeah, it was definitely 99. Yeah, because you're right. Because what month did Phantom Menace come out?
I think it was like May, springtime.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. And that was also really cool because our Brandon Theater just opened. So that was the first movie I saw at Brandon. Probably the same for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw it there. And then I remember seeing it a second time in like the smallest theater in the world back in Illinois with my family.
That's right.
But yeah, Brandon Theaters, wow. But that's it. That's just a fun detail that's like kind of filling in some gaps for me. But I love hearing that. We knew each other because we knew each other through church for a lot longer. But that spring would have been when we were becoming friends. I think like at the end of second grade for both of us, when you introduced me to Pokemon, and then everything, it just took off after that. Yeah,
for sure. And it does. And you had your console before I did.
Yeah, I just would not have guessed that. I don't think I had very many games for it quite yet. I had it for less than a year. We got it at Christmas 1998 was when I got it, and I at least had Super Mario 64 and Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball, of course. Two of our favorites.
Two essentials for the library.
Truly, both of which one I've done a games club on, and the other I did a whole Call Me by Your Ball Game special episode on like 6 years ago.
Yep.
But just great games. I don't remember if I got anything between that. I probably did between then and when we would have become friends. Because at some point you got, I'm kind of stepping on your toes a little bit. But you got a couple other games that I remember vividly playing at your house for the first time.
Yeah.
And those just really stuck out to me. But so that was sort of like the early days. Do you remember like really enjoying it? Did it take a while to get hooked on it? What comes to mind?
I absolutely loved Mario Party. Like it was just cool to have a new console, and I played that game a lot. I would take my 64 to my grandparents' house a lot and hook up in their guest room and play it all the time. I would say the first game I got really obsessed with was Zelda, because we got that one pretty early too.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where like I had a personal challenge that I was going to beat it before my brother. So like I like really rushed hard to like be the first one to beat Ocarina of Time, and I felt super proud.
Oh, you pulled it off.
Oh yeah, I did. I don't know if you remember Steve from church. He was older than us, Steve Collins.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like Steve was awesome. So Steve had Zelda, and every time I'd see him like at church, he would tell me like, "Oh yeah, I fought this guy. I'd be like, "What? You got the long shot? There's a better hook shot." There's just like stuff like that. Yeah. And then I remember being shocked when he's like, "Oh yeah, I beat the game." I was like, "You beat it?" Like I thought that was like the most impressive thing like that anyone could do. Was like, you know, looking back on it, it's funny, but
yeah. But as a kid, like that was a sort of like mountainous task. Was beating a game like that at least for after you introduced it to me, it felt like such a big world. How could you ever complete something like this? Yeah. And you know, now with a little perspective, it's still a phenomenal game, but it's a lot more contained than we would have guessed. But you're even bringing up memories for me of like talking to Steve. Like I can picture myself being with you and talking to Steve in I don't remember what the name of it was, but that facility at the church we went to that had the carpeted indoor basketball court.
That was the Fellowship Center.
The Fellowship Center. Thank you.
And it always smelled like stale muffins and fruit punch.
Yes, from the kitchen past just through the doors that you could pull up.
Yeah, it was like baked into the carpet, that stench.
Oh, because I'm sure kids trampled on muffins and stuff. But I can remember, I'm pretty sure I can remember standing there and just talking to him because I would have gotten into the game too and being like, what else could be there? And it just sounds fun for me to hear you talk about something that was always really exciting about games growing up, which was like the word of mouth being shared.
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
schoolyard talking about Pokemon, and then it extended to like Zelda too. There's all sorts of Zelda lore and
Yes.
theories and stuff, especially with the Majora's Mask too. But
Yeah. Man, so such good stuff. I love hearing about these early days for you. Was it a console that you were? I assume you were already a Nintendo Power subscriber by this point.
Oh yeah. But the Nintendo Power, at least in my house, was around before I was really reading, because my brothers would get Nintendo Power. So I would spend time just like looking through the magazines.
Yes.
I'd always take them in the car with me, like on the way to school, read Nintendo Power.
Wow.
Especially as I was getting older, like with the 64, and then more so with the GameCube generation when I was a little older. Really getting excited about reading it like cover to cover and like
Yes.
doing all that stuff. So I would take it to school, because remember in school we'd have like R&R time, like you'd have like silent reading. You had to read a book for like 30 minutes. I'd pull up a Nintendo Power or like the strategy guide for like Mario RPG or Zelda or something. Like
you're like, I'm reading.
The teacher's like, that's fine.
Great. I mean, whatever encourages a kid to read, I guess. That's great.
I know. It's a good era.
Even just talking about Nintendo Power, I remember that there's going to be a lot of me today being like, I remember when we did this. But I do remember, thanks to you and your mom, really, getting me gaining the ability to also become a Nintendo Power subscriber, and also Sports Illustrated for Kids.
Yes,
which is
the two greatest magazines.
Dude, I remember just falling in love with that stuff. But when you think about Nintendo Power, is there like an issue that comes to mind, like a front cover?
The StarFox barf bag ad was really disturbing.
I don't even know what this is.
There was a StarFox barf bag ad.
Like a commercial or like a print ad?
Like a printed, like you open the cover and it's like a barf bag full. And it's like, it may cause motion air sickness or something. Let's see.
Gosh, the Play It Loud era.
Play It Loud. Oh, the one that had Final Fantasy 2 on the cover, and it had like Cecil on a black chocobo, and like you could see the sword. That one was really cool.
Yes, that's great. I think the first one that comes to mind is the Luigi's Mansion cover.
Yeah, that one was
which
great.
May have been like the GameCube debut issue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I also remember from the same year the Game Boy Advance issue with the Game Boy Advance like kind of flying through the cover of the screen.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
I remember the games, reading about the specific games in there, of looking forward to like Super Mario Brothers Advance, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Golden Sun and all these things. But it was a bit of a tangent just to ask about Nintendo Power, but that was really formative for this time for us.
That one, the Donkey Kong 64 one with all the monkeys on the cover, was really cool.
That's great.
Like, that one was fun.
And I think I was starting to, I believe when I became a subscriber, it was definitely after Ocarina of Time, probably at the earliest around the Majora's Mask era of like fall of 2000, maybe summer of that year. But I wasn't getting advertised, at least on, from print media, things about the N64, maybe like you were, from just basically getting like Nintendo propaganda sent to your house every month.
Oh yeah, and even the VHSs and all that.
Yes,
we get the promotional VHSs in the mail.
Yes, yeah, I got at least one. At least maybe I watched it at your house, but I remember the Donkey Kong 64 VHS. There was a
Donkey Kong Country one where this wacky host goes to the Nintendo headquarters in Seattle. Yes. And he's like, it's like super net. You can find it on YouTube. He's got like the hat backwards, the long hair.
Wow.
And he's like, yo, we're learning about radical Donkey Kong, bro. And it's like super 90s. Which is that one. We had that one. And then the other one, that for the 64 era, Majora's Mask had a promotional VHS.
Ooh.
I don't know if you remember that one, but they
really
sent out it was promoting the new Zelda game.
Yes. Well, if you were to guess, if one like initial memory that I have of Majora's Mask, could you guess what it is specifically? And it's okay if you don't have the answer, but you will know this story when I tell you.
Is it when you can jump and Link flips at the beginning?
No, but that was really cool and was awesome. I remember you got this game before me.
Yes.
This came out, I know it was October 20th, 2000 in our region. And I think we came over for Halloween or around Halloween, my family to your family's house. And so I got to watch you play it. And I think it was set up in Alex's room at the time. And I want to say, but I remember, and I would get it a few weeks later for my birthday. But I remember watching you play and doing the Song of Soaring. And where Link gets like wrapped up in the feathers and then like disappears. And I remember being like, what? Is Link dead? And you were like, do you really think he's dead?
That he dies. That was it.
But that memory really sticks in my mind.
But hey, there's theories that he was dead the whole time.
So
for the Majora's Mask. So you might have been right.
Yeah, on a technicality, but I'll take it. Thinking of it's so funny because you've told me so many stories and shared so many anecdotes about your time with this console and specific memories that I'll just keep asking you questions because I keep wanting to be like, hey, remember this story from your life that you've told me before? You told me that the first game you were really obsessed with was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Oh yeah. Let's rip one Band-Aid and just talk about your at least at the time of your list, your favorite game of all time, StarFox 64, is an N64 title. We have a whole episode about you sharing your love for that game. But thinking about it today, what sticks with you? I assume you revisit it every so often. You've told me some great stories about it, but what do you want to share about it today?
Just that it still runs super smooth. It's still super fun to play. And I think it's, for the console of the era it came out in, it really was pretty revolutionary, I think. Mm-hmm. But the replay value is so high on that game.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, the game's shadow is so huge, too. Mm-hmm. StarFox has... you could argue that the franchise doesn't exist anymore because I don't think there's been a new game since the Wii U.
No, yeah, you're right.
There was that little StarFox add-on to... Gosh, I forget the space shooter's name on the Switch, but do you remember the one that had like a little StarFox toy that came with the ship?
Vaguely.
Gosh, I wish... Me 8 years ago could have told you what that was called.
Yeah.
But... the franchise has never been able to get out of the shadow of that game. It loomed so large. It was so fun. Like you said, the replay value is incredible because of all the paths you can take. And I think something about this game that is so memorable is the quotes. I think the N64 in particular, maybe it was just because this is my favorite console, so I remember the most. But I would make an argument that it's one of the most quotable consoles as far as its game library. Totally. There's so many, but this game has plenty of quotes.
A lot come back to mind. Donkey Kong 64 has a lot of quotes.
I think these two games are like, those two are specifically the ones that I think of primarily.
Right.
But yeah, there's thick StarFox 64 quotes, and not even the obvious ones like do a barrel roll or whatever. But there are quotes that I still think of to this day, whether it be, I think one of my favorites is at the end of, I think it's the first level if you go the true route.
Yeah.
Where you defeat, I don't even know the boss's name, but then he goes, I'm really doing the Chris Farley Beatles sketch at this point.
Right. No,
where the character goes, "Who are you guys?"
Yeah. We're StarFox. Yeah.
There's just so many good ones like that. Peppy is full of them. It's amazing.
Don't ever give up, my son. Father?
It has a treasure trove, but yeah, that game is amazing. I revisit it every so often too. It's so fun to just like pull up for a run for like an hour and 15 minutes or so.
Yeah. Well, and it's not, it doesn't take a lot of your time, like you said, so you can kind of get through it pretty quick, especially if you know what you're doing. And then and I feel like the mistakes you make in that game, you're really punished for. Like if you lose a wing and you lose your laser upgrades, like it changes everything. It's like the right amount challenge and the right amount, even if you're good at the game. I think, the other big thing was my mom took Alex and I to some mall. She had to do something for some kind of work thing, and she took us to a mall, I think in Pleasanton. and said you guys could pick out one game each. So I picked out Pokemon Snap.
Ooh, yeah.
And Alex picked Smash Bros. That was a pretty solid twofer for both of us.
Okay. You know what? This is no wonder. I mean, they came out the same year, so that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But also, I do think of these games of playing them at your house at the same time period.
Yeah. We got them at literally the same trip.
Yes. That's incredible. Fortunate for me.
Exciting. Yeah, no, that was great. I mean, and then Pokemon Stadium was like, just we played a lot of that, me and you. But like the fact that you could just hook up your Game Boy to it, play Pokemon at 4 times speed, which you could not do that like anywhere else.
Yep.
That was really awesome. That,
especially for kids who had played, like ran the tires off of that game the first year it was out, it was really fun for us to have. It was cool that game had an incentive to do well, the Pokemon Stadium specifically, because you can upgrade, those. I was showing off my transfer pack in the first episode. I did a little bit of a show and tell.
Oh, sick.
And being able to just rush through the parts of the game that you knew really well, or grind or train, was so helpful. And that game also had certain incentives, like if you beat a certain cup or a gym leader challenge, whatever it was, like that tower you could do. Yeah. They would give you like rare Pokemon, like the starters or an Eevee or something.
Yeah, which is that was a nice reward.
Like I still have Pokemon that live on that N64 cartridge that are just like marooned on an island there,
waiting to be claimed.
Yes. Snap is a great one to bring up. Snap and Smash Brothers. I remember you introducing me to both of those games. I want to say, and maybe this is not accurate, maybe I'm conflating you having a Pokemon birthday in 1999 with memory of playing Pokemon Snap, but I do remember like being in your family's living room back then, playing both games and just being so, I guess, just captured by both of them. What sticks out when you think about early memories of those two games?
I think we always would have those conversations, at least with Pokemon, where we'd be like, man, I wish it was real,
Yes.
And, the first time to see those characters in like 3D models and environments and like living a life was really cool.
Yes.
Because we definitely wanted that, and they looked good on the 64. Like even the animations in Stadium now, like some of the animations look better than like modern Pokemon.
Sure.
Like you actually have like Pokemon like doing a double kick instead of just like standing there and like having a footprint show. It's like, you could tell that they put a lot of like effort into those games to make them look really good.
That's a great point. It sort of not blew out the world, but put the game in a visual style that we had kind of dreamed of in that short amount of time since it came out, or the original games came out, and we became obsessed with them because we had the TV program, which did plenty and was great for storytelling, of course. But yeah, to see Pokemon in 3D and living in their world or just battling was so cool. Snap, too, had so many secrets in it and little things to figure out, which was always really exciting to like learn that you had discovered one or try to like activate it. Even when I knew about it, trying to activate them sometimes were a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk about replayability. I mean, that game had it too. It's just, it was almost like that run, like 98, 99. There was just a lot of like banger after banger after banger games.
Yes.
So that's one thing about the console that's really great. Like, it had a lot of really solid games.
Yes.
And the multiplayer games were off the charts. It's funny. I was actually going to share this before we had our own 64. Alex had a sleepover, and we actually rented a 64.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, before we had one. So my mom let him, I guess it was like a birthday thing. We rented the 64, and it had 4 controllers with it. So it came with like all different colored controllers.
Cool.
And you basically just like had it for the night. Then we had to return it the next day. But like you used to be able to do that. You used to be able to rent a console and like
that
with
was
games
so
and
cool.
Stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if I ever did that, but places like Blockbuster or Hollywood Video back in the day had that available.
Yeah.
Were you around for his birthday, or was it kind of thing where it was like, oh, little brother, stay away? Do you remember?
I think I got to get like sneak glimpses like from down the stairs, like in the back corner, like watching them, but like they wouldn't let me play, because.
Oh, I bet that was so tantalizing to just know it was there. Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of multiplayer, that's one thing you perfectly segued us into something I wanted to ask you about, which is your like most memorable multiplayer experiences, whether it be games, moments, vague or specific.
I think as kids, playing Smash a lot was really cool. I wasn't really big into GoldenEye. I know like a lot of people loved GoldenEye, but like I couldn't get into it. I tried playing it, and my mom was like, "Don't play the shooting game." So, I basically wasn't allowed to play the shooting game. Older, in my 20s, when I was living with my brother, we'd have our best friends Dan and Tyler over, and we'd play a lot of NFL Blitz.
Yes,
a lot of Blitz, a lot of Gretzky, and Hang Time. So,
ooh.
And Mario Golf. We'd do Mario Golf, obviously, because we would do Mario Golf, but we'd play putt-putt. And we'd have a rule where you weren't allowed to like look ahead of time. You had to just like blindly putt. Like
quickly or
quickly. Like I think we did a shot clock, and like you couldn't like press the down C button and see the whole like hole. You had to like just kind of like figure it out.
That's great.
So those games, and we drink a lot of beer and just play a lot of.
You had some great
Blitz
Mario Party 2 stories that you've told, I think maybe even on pod before, about some like wild times playing that game together.
Yeah, like my brother losing his shit.
Yes.
Or like he would always get so angry, because like that's the most rage baiting game ever.
Yes.
And then one night we were playing, and he said, "Good sportsmanship night, good sportsmanship night," and like he'd get like upset. He'd be like, "Ah," and then he'd like pause for a second and be like, "Good sportsmanship," and he'd like shake everyone's hand, "Good sportsmanship." like so like
that's a great bit.
Someone would steal a star, he'd be like, "Mother." Good sportsmanship. Good sportsmanship.
That's so funny.
So we do that sometimes. We have good sportsmanship nights.
You've every so often you gotta have a good sportsmanship night. You'd mentioned something too about the way you guys would play Mario Golf, and when people find ways to like their own like sort of it's not headcanon is not the right word, but their own ways to interact with certain games. That's so much fun. Like hearing the parameters you would put on Mario Golf. We've done similar things. I'm sure you and I did similar things in the past with games that are just not coming to mind. But I'll find, or actually, I mean, an easy example, not N64 related, is Backyard Baseball. You and I would be like, okay, well, we are so good at this game now. We play only on hard, no swing spot, and we'd make up rules for like, okay, we got to pick a kind of shitty team or whatever to make it fun for ourselves. So I love hearing that about golf.
More challenging, right?
Yeah. But more so, I brought that up to just say I love hearing that you guys would find creative ways to continue to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we would do that. And have you ever played Gretzky?
Never. Or Hang Time.
Oh, man, those are both really awesome. Gretzky's really fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's really fun.
Does the gameplay feel... I mean, a gameplay must be good if you're talking about it.
It's super smooth, yeah. It's smooth. It's arcadey. It's fun to play because you could all be on the same team. So like we're all different. Like you could change the rules to make it 4-on-4 or 3-on-3, and you could change the rink to make it bigger or smaller. So there's like an arcade version.
Oh, cool.
But 4 players, when you're all on the same team, you're all working together. It's like you have to be like pass. So like, well, no, clear it out, get that guy. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great. You brought up Blitz. I've played a lot of Blitz 2000 specifically.
Yeah.
But that was something that I remember playing at like a babysitter's house growing up, like in my last days of going to an after school program basically.
Yep.
And it wasn't until adulthood that I really got into that. And me and our friend Loomis, who you know, and our other friend Ethan used to like just go back and forth on that game constantly because it's so arcadey. It's so fun. It's pretty quick too. What a game.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, that one's really fun. The other thing we used to do was there was a lot of wrestling games on the 64. There was WCW versus NWO. There was WrestleMania 2000. There was another one too, but we used to do Royal Rumble, but we have the computer do it. So we would just like chill over beer, like watching, like we'd all like draft guys, and, because the computer would fight itself. So it'd be kind of fun. That's
great. Yeah, just a spectator event, basically.
You could do a spectator Royal Rumble. I think we did it to determine a fantasy draft one year.
Oh, fun. Okay. But, it's like, I don't know, it's like kind of like horse racing in a way.
Oh, that makes me think of Day at the Races from Mario Party 2, which is the most fun game because it's only a battle mode game, so you can only do it if you land on the bob-omb spot, and so you have to first off get that, and then Day at the Races. It's all it is you pick like a thwomp, it's like a thwomp, bob-omb,
a boo,
womp or a boo, yeah.
Yes.
Like everyone takes a turn picking, and there's no like strategy to it. It's just whoever wins. But it'd always be so fun because like we'd obviously be a few beers deep and be like, "Go!" Just like screaming at the TV, like, "Go!"
Yeah, you like. As someone else who has a ton of experience with that mini game too, you kind of have like your favorites, or you just sometimes go with a gut instinct. You're like, you know what? I think Boo's got it today.
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna disappear and reappear behind the
yes
line.
I love that mini game. Really has a great moment at the end where it does a photo finish to show you how someone won, because sometimes it's just a Boo disappears and appears past the line, or it's he disappears and then a thwomp falls over the line, or a womp.
There's so many different things that could happen.
It's just that game, it keeps on giving.
It does. It still holds up. And then if you even like the best hits Mario Party game that came on the Switch, most of the mini games were from Mario Party 2.
Yes.
I think they knew that they were cooking on that one. The other thing that memory I have is that summer basketball, because I was on the basketball team in high school, and we'd do summer trips. Like we'd go to like LA, we stay in a hotel room, we'd play against other schools, and I would take the 64 with me with 4 controllers, and we would like all get in one room and play Mario Kart for like hours.
Oh, that rocks.
It was super fun. Yeah. Like
did you guys grow up and play that game a ton together, or was that mostly a game for you in that setting?
I feel like it was more that setting because we didn't have Mario Kart.
Me neither, dude.
We missed that one, yeah, which is kind of weird because it's kind of like an essential library game.
Yeah,
but we didn't have that or Diddy Kong Racing.
You know what? That's no wonder then why I don't have childhood memories playing those games. Really,
yeah.
Especially in the context of being at either of our houses. I think that was Mario Kart 64 was another like end of childcare game for me, but I mostly have memories of playing 64 in college where we would like play to determine who, like if you lost, you had to go shower first when like we all needed to shower something, like usually on like a weekend or before some like class on a weekday. And so yeah, if you lose, you're out, and then you get replaced with a computer sort of thing.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. You jogged my memory too. I don't think this came up on the first episode, but one of my most fond memories of multiplayer on the N64 is you, me, and Carly playing Banjo-Tooie, the like shooting game that they had.
The multiplayer one.
Yes,
right?
where everyone's running around with a kazooie as a gun, just shooting eggs at each other in first person. That was like my first real first person like group shooter that I ever played.
Right. And Donkey Kong 64 had a similar multiplayer too.
That's right.
We played that sometimes.
We did, with the arenas that were way too big.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
that was a game. Did you beat that as a kid?
Which one? Donkey Kong
64?
Not as a kid, because I could not for the life of me get past the arcade Donkey Kong thing.
Yeah.
And I would get so ragey because I'm like, why is this a requirement? Like, why do I have to do this? And I would get so mad, and I eventually quit. And then I picked it back up again in high school, and I beat it in high school.
Yes.
I finally conquered that stupid challenge. That
you have to beat like 2 arcade games. You have to beat Donkey Kong Original, which Jetpack?
Jetpack was the other one.
Yes, which I remember the same thing frustrated me as a kid, and I think I only really played it at your house, but until I got it as an adult. But it was an absolute wall for me that I hit.
Yeah. What sucked about it, the thing I hated the most was that you'd lose, and then it would take forever, and then it would go back to like the animation would play, and then you're back in your Donkey Kong and you're at the arcade machine. He'd have to do his whole animation where he like pulls a lever again, and then the camera zooms into the thing. I'm like, just let me go again. You don't need to like do the whole cutscene.
I'd be willing to bet you would lose a life too if you like died. Just knowing that game, I can't say for sure though.
I don't think that it was that strict.
It wasn't,
but the game, that was a weird game at Banjo because we did the same thing. If you saved and quit, it would give you the game over screen. Do you remember that? And I'd be
Kind of,
like,
yes.
You're playing Donkey Kong 64. You're done for the day. Like mom says, it's time for dinner or whatever. You go to save and quit, and then it plays the game over screen. Like it shows Captain K. Rool, and he's like about to blow up the whole island, and then it's like game over. It's like, no, it's not game over. I'm just putting it down for a little bit.
You know, now that you say that, I do remember that, especially for at least Banjo-Tooie, because the witch would always like, I don't know, take all the life from your sister and become the hot witch.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say about Donkey Kong 64 is that I have this one memory of, do you remember going to a basketball summer camp together at Davis High?
I sure do.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you if that was the year 2000, 2001, when that was. But I remember it was not rare for us to, especially over the summer, to be like, okay, one of us stayed at each other's house for 3 days straight.
Yeah.
And I remember during this basketball camp, I think we were staying at your house for the week.
Just that makes sense because my mom was off because she was a teacher.
Exactly. I remember looking forward so much, loved camp, but being done so we could go back and play Donkey Kong 64. And I think we just like chipped away at that game for probably more of the summer, but at least that week.
Sounds about right. I mean, yeah, I wonder if what other like games me and you like played together, because we didn't, like, you had your own Zelda run. I had my own Zelda run for like that, you know, because you had your own version. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if there was many games that we like.
Yeah, we're playing like simultaneously.
Right.
It's a good question. That was probably more around the Game Boy Advance and GameCube era that started to happen. For us, or even I think we got the new Pokemon or Pokemon Gold and Silver at the same time. Oh, yeah. But yeah, N64, that was a little different for us. Yeah. This kind of off topic, but do you remember renting any games? Like, did you guys rent a lot of games growing up? Not a ton, but some. I remember the one that sticks out most in my mind is an N64 game. I rented Glover one weekend. Oh yeah. Have you played that? I've never played it, but I remember it. It's a fascination because you're really playing as the ball that Glover is like bouncing and rolling on and moving around. Right. But I really have no idea if that game is any good. Do you remember renting games? You talked about renting the system. Yeah, I remember renting a few. Jet Force Gemini, which was kind of creepy for me as a kid. I remember Alex wanted to rent it, so that one kind of creeped me out, but I remember it. Mm-hmm. I remember renting Rocket Robot on Wheels. Oh, wow. Yeah, that one was cool. I thought it was really fun. I think I want to say that's it's either Sucker Punch or Insomniac who made that back in the day. I think it's Sucker Punch who makes like Ghost of Tsushima, but I could be wrong. You might be right there, but I definitely remember renting it. Rented Paper Mario. Oh my gosh, yes. And really tried really hard to beat it in the amount of time, but couldn't, but really loved it. I remember watching you play there's like a level in that first game where you might be in a toy box and there's a train going around the level that you have to get on for little moments and hop off in a different little region. And I have a memory of like watching you play that. Yeah, sounds about right. And because you were already a Super Mario RPG fan from the Super Nintendo. Oh, yeah, I was definitely into that, so makes sense. I'm trying to remember what else we rented. Yeah. I think we rented. There's got to be games that we rented and then ended up buying. Sure. But I can't totally remember. That's okay. But yeah, we definitely rented lots of games because it was it was like a regular thing we did as a family. Totally. Yeah. Well, if more come to mind, you're welcome to bring them up. I wanted to ask you if there were or are any curiosities on the console that you've still never been able to try, whether that be something unreleased here or just a game you've never quite played that you've always been curious about. The N64 was not known for its RPGs. That's true. But I always was interested in Quest 64 just because of how it looked. Quest? Yeah, Quest 64. I always kind of wanted to play that, even though I never got to. I still have never turned it on one time. Yeah, that game and then Conker's Bad Fur Day. I never got to play that. Yes. So just to experience that would have been fun. Yeah. Though both of those are the case for me too. I'm trying to think of other ones that I never got to play. Mostly when I think of this, I think of games that, like for the disc drive, for the N64 DD that were only released in Japan, like the Mario Artist Studio. But not a ton come to mind. Have you ever played any, this is something that's new for me, but have you played any of the like ROM hacks or like remix versions of N64 games that people have made?
I've not played any, but I've seen some YouTube videos of some. I saw one guy play through. Have you heard about that Zelda? It's a Zelda Ace Attorney hack.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you got to check it out. It's incredible.
You told me about it.
I must have told you, yeah, because it was it's pretty crazy what they did. They basically just took the assets from Ocarina of Time and made an Ace Attorney game out of it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's really good. But I haven't dabbled with it myself, playing any of those games. But I've seen some of the hacks. Like a lot of people have made like Zelda roguelikes, which is kind of interesting. Like you play Zelda like Ocarina, but it's a roguelike, so you get different items and stuff.
Okay. Something that you've got to try, and hopefully we can play at some point together, is the Smash 64 remix.
Yes, I've seen that. That's crazy.
I finally played it recently with a friend who's going to be on the series, Grant Moore, at his place with my friend Jacques. And dude, as a fan of that original game, it blew my mind how much they put into it. They tripled the size of the original Smash 64, and
overwhelming.
Even though you can definitely just look it up, there are some characters that I would have never guessed would be in the game, or almost kind of like break the game in some ways. Like
the piano from Mario.
Yes.
64.
It's probably the best example. What a weird, funny choice that just totally, and it's such a dominant character.
I'd imagine so. That is great. I've seen that stuff. And what's nuts too is like a lot of these hacks you can actually put on a cartridge and play on your 64.
Yeah, a little sort of EverDrive of sorts.
That's really cool. I really want to set it up, and like my partner and I were talking about like getting like a nostalgia corner, kind of like how you have your CRT, and like find a CRT and like maybe get a VHS that works, and like have like a corner just for that cozy like little like CRT space. Because last time I tried playing StarFox 64, I tried playing it on my LED TV, and it didn't feel right. It felt a little off. It was like not calibrated right, or I definitely am getting rusty at the game.
Well, if it can feel okay, like through a Switch, through the N64 library, but it still doesn't feel quite the same, and especially plugging in an old console to that feels rough. The something I don't have, but I'm interested in at some point, is the Analog 3D console, which is like the company Analog, who makes like the Analog Pocket. They came out with their N64 console, which is... That's what we were playing the game on at our friend Grant's house. And it's crazy what that thing can do. That might be something that I get as a contingency plan for if my N64 ever dies.
Right.
Because it just plays stuff so well.
Analog 64.
Yeah, or the Analog. If you Google that, it'll show up, but it's called the Analog 3D.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice.
I only have a couple more things I really want to dive in to with you, and the first one is, you've kind of talked about it throughout the episode, so I might be asking you to repeat yourself a little bit, so forgive me, but is this a console that you still boot up every so often, that you return to? What does that look like?
I boot it up and return to it when I have friends coming over and we want to play, we get the hankering to play Gretzky or Blitz or something. I don't really bust it out and play anything like single player too much anymore.
Yes.
And it's not because I can just get it on Switch, because I don't even have Switch online right now. It's more just like I just haven't found myself drawn to come back and replay any of these things.
Totally.
I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I would say like I played Ocarina probably every like 3 years. I play through it, and just haven't really felt like I've been wanting to revisit it lately. That might change. I don't know.
I can relate to that. Even with it being my favorite console of all time, I think as my interest in games continues to grow, and I explore more and more parts of gaming that I just never did before. And I'm trying to kind of keep up with new releases, which I don't even really do that well. My gaming time, like yours, is limited. And so, but the almost the scope of all the things that I could be playing has just grown.
Exactly.
So making time for the N64 or any console is tough, but I try to at least play it a few times a year. Whether it be for example, Amanda's family loves Diddy Kong Racing. They came over sometime last year. We busted that out, and that was the most fun we'd had in a long time.
Sure,
but
I bet.
I would love to. I am planning to play. I am pretty soon. I haven't officially announced this, but I'm going to be playing Banjo-Kazooie for a co-op in the spring.
Sweet.
And so that I am planning, even though it's on Switch Online, I'm planning to set up on the CRT and just at least get a little use out of my retro console.
Love it. You've beaten that one, right? Or have you not played that one through?
I've played some of Kazooie. I've played most of Tooie, but never finished either of them.
Got it.
So
okay.
I'm all right, I gotta knock one of these off the list.
Yeah,
have you finished either of those?
Nope.
No. Yeah, because Tooie was a game that you didn't have, right? You would just play that at my place?
Yeah, and I think you let me borrow it once.
Sure. Okay.
But no, I never beat Tooie. Tooie was kind of hard.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
It was a little bloated too.
Yeah.
The worlds were bigger. I still have a little more of a nostalgic view of it compared to Kazooie because it was my first one in that franchise. But the last thing I really want to ask you is, first of all, are there anything you wanted to mention about the N64, whether it be a game, memory, or another detail that you haven't brought up today?
Just interesting things about the time of that console, like when games got more advanced and more graphically impressive on it, they had to ship games with the expansion pack.
Oh yeah.
Like my current 64 I have, because I have one copy of one and my brother has the other one we grew up with. His has the expansion pack. The one I have does not have the expansion pack.
Oh, interesting.
So if I really wanted to play Majora's Mask, I would not be able to.
Oh, okay.
Or Donkey Kong 64. So that's it is kind of a interesting thing that was the workaround for Nintendo, where just release this with the games. We're going to take a hit on it, but we have to get it out,
Yeah.
It's the type of thing you would never see again.
Totally. You would see it just be a full console upgrade rather than
or a patch or a update,
Yeah. I remember not really understanding exactly what was going on as a kid with all that because
Same.
And now I know it. I'm pretty sure it's the RAM that's expanding.
I think you're right. But it's just funny that's something that this generation of gamers will never have to really worry about, because imagine back then you release a game that has glitches and stuff, but you're like, you can just send a patch out. This is what it is.
Yeah, very different time for shipping games. That just even makes me think about the look of the games on the console and how I'm so nostalgic for it, but I personally, there's some games that look great. Paper Mario's one, but that's also doing a totally different thing. And then there are plenty of games that are so funny looking, or I am still fascinated by the way that they made things work. There's still so much use of 2D sprites or textures in this game rather than 3D models. In Mario Golf or Mario 64, most trees, there might be a model of the wood, but the actual leaves.
It's flattened.
Yeah, so I remember walking around that as a kid being this looks strange.
Yeah, kind of uncanny valley.
Yeah, it works. They made it work, but they felt like they're always pushing the console to the limit.
They had to find little workarounds so it wouldn't slow down, I'm guessing. I
think you're right.
Yeah, 64, they're all sprites. They're 2D sprites,
yes,
but in a 3D environment.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's almost and then some of the games, even Mario Party, has pre-rendered backgrounds. The maps are pre-rendered backgrounds, like we were used to in 3D Movie Maker, and
yes,
a lot of the 64 games have those pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah,
which is an era that's gone.
I know. I still I will get nostalgic when I see something like that, like from like an old Final Fantasy, really, once they got into 3D.
Yep.
Or basically anything on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, or those old point-and-click games and stuff, like Grim Fandango.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, the juxtaposition of those backgrounds with the 3D model is so peculiar, but it doesn't look good, but I love it. I still love it.
It's an aesthetic, and like you just don't see it anymore because you don't need to do it anymore. But
yeah.
Someone should make a game that's like that.
Yes. Lastly, I want to do our best to have you kind of wrap up whatever place the N64 holds in your life. Do you think you'd be able to put into words what that means to you exactly?
Wow, yeah, it's up there for me. I mean, Super Nintendo is my favorite, and I really had a lot of good times with the GameCube too, though. I feel like it's in the same tier as GameCube for me as far as like what it means to me.
Sure.
Like Super Nintendo's its own tier. I kind of feel like 64 and GameCube belong in the same like category for me, which was like growing up, really enjoying my time with it.
You were like actively seeking stuff out for both.
Yeah, and I feel like when the Wii came out, like I loved the Wii, but it didn't hit the same, maybe just because of age.
Yeah.
Like where we were at with everything, and yeah, important, but not like the most important console in my life, but like still a lot of good memories.
Yeah. Great, dude. Well, thank you so much for just taking some time to talk about this console. It's one that, especially, there's kind of like a 6-7 years there between this and the GameCube where I can't help but think about the memories that we shared, the things you introduced me to. So I had to have you on, and fitting that I had you on after myself as the, selfishly having myself on as the first guest. But it was great having you, buddy.
I enjoyed being on here. I'm trying to think like if I could give a quick like top 5.
Oh, yes.
64 games. And I mean,
it's a crowded list.
I know. Number 1, StarFox 64 for sure. I do feel like Ocarina will probably be number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's crazy to put Gretzky up there.
No, dude, not at all.
It's that good of a game. I think Gretzky 3, Mario Golf 4, because I really like Mario Golf.
Ooh.
I still think Mario Golf holds up really well today.
Yes.
And then, it might be Paper Mario 5th because like I did replay through that and it was really fun.
Sure.
I'll put that up there. That's a safe.
I love it. That's great. It's
either that or Smash, but
Yeah. Some old favorites, one that has become more of a game that you played a ton in adulthood. It's a great list.
Thank you.
Well, awesome, dude. On your way out, is there anything else you wanted to say on your way out before I just start plugging stuff?
No, just thanks for having me. So I love that you're just enjoying doing the show. Brings me joy to hear it. So
thanks buddy.
Thanks for having me on. I love being a guest.
Of course. Well, I'll have to have you back on. Maybe I'll have to get you on a co-op or something this year. I said at the beginning of the year, I was like, next year, starting in 2026, like I'm not going to do one every month. It's just going to be at my leisure. And now here I am doing one every month. So I'll have to hit you up. But glad to have you here. I'll go ahead and just close us out with some plugs of my own. The cover art for Call Me By Your Game is done by Glenn J. You can find him and his great work on Instagram, on a link in the show notes. The show is produced, edited, and the original music is done by Jeremy Schmidt. You can find him as well on social media and over at his podcast, Video Games, a Comedy Show. You can follow me on Blue Sky and Instagram if you want. The show is also on Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you want a video version of this podcast, this episode also lives there. And then lastly, the network, Super NPC Radio, that is the sort of the umbrella that all of our podcasts live under. You can find us on all of those social media websites I just named. And again, if you want to support the show and you're looking for more ways to do that, and you want some bonus video game podcasts for doing so, check us out at patreon.com/supernpcradio. There's bonuses at every tier, from the free tier all the way up to the highest paid tier. Find something that works for you if you're interested. That'll do it for another episode of Call Me By Your Game and the N64 Diaries, Episode 2. We will see you on the next one.